And here's our first boat out in the Biolytix. It's the top 12. And we're looking at Daniel Reed and Ben Sol, where the 59.374 has found them in this position of starting first in this group.
Well, I'll tell you what, not too bad for a first up racer, and getting himself into the finals, you've got to be really happy with that. And regardless of where he comes, these guys have acquitted themselves beautifully today, really started smoothing those lines out very, very well. And they should be very, very proud of themselves no matter where they end up. And at the moment, you'd have to suggest that they are going to progress into the next level.
Definitely. If they don't do it today, they're certainly going to find themselves in a good spot at the next round down in Wanganui. But look at that, they found you put the curse on them.
Oh, the commentator's curse.
Yeah, they found the grass, they found the dirt, and it slowed them up. And this, ladies and gentlemen, will possibly be the end of the day for them. So if you wouldn't mind just giving them a big round of applause consolation-wise, I would say that's the end of it for Daniel Reed and, of course, Ben Sol, the team from Waitara. And, of course, we have that good event coming up in Waitara in February. So we'll see them on their home track down there.
That's it. The Naki 500 will be down there on the 28th of February. So the next boat to face the starter will be Greg Reardon. His previous best time was a 58.853. How's he going to go here? Greg Reardon and Dawn Herb. The newbies out here today as well, and they have done a ripping job as well. So where are they going to end up? Now this is finals time with the new guys. How are they going to keep the race head on? Are they going to get too ahead of themselves and stick it up on the dirt? Are they going to just take it easy, try to get through it and be smart? Oh, Greg Reardon really late there.
Oh, looked like a brain fade there.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's
really
thinking a little bit ahead of himself. So this is going to be interesting. And he's not easing off it at all. He's decided that he wants to get into the next qualifying round, next final round.
Definitely, and looked like a real big bit of indecision there. One corner at a time will get you home at a good time. But ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to see this first-time team out here now. Their time last time was 58.853, as Kavy was saying. If they can get themselves down in the 55s, they might make it through to the top 8. Let's take a look. This is elimination time. They have got themselves a time, though, so they're going to be the leaders at the start of it. Let's take a look as soon as we can. The score will come up to us.
Yep, well, we'll get
57.956. 57.956. So they've come down a whole second from previous. They've just improved all day. And if that's all they take away from this, that'll be pride. Well done. Well done.
I would suggest that they have an opportunity to get into the next level.
I think so.
You know, and that'll be fantastic boost of confidence for a team that is at their first race meeting. So good on them. As we see Clayton Tisdall out on the water. He's got his lovely partner there, Mandy, out in there. The Jet Speed, the brand new package. They were actually so tired when they got off the ferry that they actually had to sleep on the footpath, apparently. So then managed to get a couple of hours kip and then make the big drive all the way up here. So fantastic to see these guys from the South Island getting on board and going really nicely. Very, very smooth, this boat. I like the way that Clayton just has the boat set up. Mandy just sitting really low in the seat. There's not much of her. I think she's about 4'2". Oh, Clayton Tisdall, wrong way.
Oh, no,
and
that's
he's done that the second time today. He's taken that same channel. So that is going to cost him plenty. And I dare say we will not see Clayton and Mandy on coming into the next round. But, of course, it is a race of attrition. So you just never know in jet sprinting.
No, there's a lot of stuff to go through the water between now and then. Let's see how we go. Their time, of course, early on, that was a 54.794. We're going to come through the line here now. Those navigational errors will cost you every time, and just wait, bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. Once they go through the timer a couple of times, we've got a little bit of work to do to get the final score up in front of us. There is a doubly driven boat out here too, so Daniel Reed and Jason Reed, they're going to be running a little bit out of order as we go through the program. Ross Travis was the fastest qualifier into this round. Just waiting there for Clayton Tisdale's time. Let's go to Sonic Boom now. Our next boat in.
Murray Chittick.
Yep, 54.730 has been their qualifying time, KP.
And really going very, very well, these guys. There is no doubt about that. The tractor driver, I reckon the boat's just a little bit quicker than a Massey Ferguson.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, it looks a little bit better too. It's been doing a really good job of driving with his navigator, Paul Coonan, and Nuiman, and they live. One lives in Napier, one's Otama, and Sonic Boom. It is a L98 engine, 525 horsepower, and this nice little package is only going to grow in strength to strength, and a pretty reasonable time there for them out there with a 54.730 earlier on. Nice work on the track now, finding their way around in the Group Bs.
Yeah, really just coming in and smart driving, just setting the boat up beautifully for the tight, difficult parts of the track, which you don't normally see with the newbies. So these guys across the line now, Murray Chittick with a 55.551, and at the moment he's going to sit on the bubble in progressing into the top 8. Of course, it is sudden death. If you don't get into the top 8, that is all over for you, ladies and gentlemen. You go home, you sit on the trailer and you crack a beer, and none of these guys want to be doing that too early in the day. We now have Pip and Poppy in the bitches box coming out onto the track now. I love this little song for them.
All right, they had a 54.306 in qualifying rounds to get here in this position of 5th to run. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, Clayton Tisdale had a time of 106.127 earlier on with those navigational errors. So, unless something really goes wrong for the next half dozen contestants, I can't see them making their way back.
Yep, we've got another tyre in the track at the moment.
I think you must have been planting them out there, mate.
Oh, look, you know, I don't want anything to do with tyres, mate. That's all just too hard. But, yeah, the safety crew have been kept busy all day, just making sure these loose tyres are dragged out of the course.
They're getting quite a collection up there, haven't they? They've been separating them into 14 and 13-inch tyres for sales later on.
Yep, absolutely. I think they're going to have a, yep, they'll definitely be selling them later on, no doubt about that. Pip and Poppy in the bitches box are now under starters' orders. The starter Mel now has the green flag up, ready to roll and drop that to get the girls underway. This is top 12 in the Group B.
And they're off the line nice and clean, and as they come around that left-hander, they've been doing a great job of driving. I'd have to say that she's driving a lot better this year than she was last year. She is the secretary of the JSA and puts a lot of work into organising everything from toilet paper right through to prize money and prizes. This lady, she's an incredibly good supporter of New Zealand jet sprinting, and nice to see her out here doing a nice run. And this is the top 12 of the PSB New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship Biolytix Group Bs.
Absolutely, and Megan Brodie, Poppy, is a shepherd down there on the South Island, and I'll tell you what a difference in just hanging out with sheep all day and then getting out and belting around in one of these over the course of a weekend. There's just two very massive contrasts in a lifestyle, and have a look at the way Pip is getting through there. Was probably a little bit late getting around the Biolytix big sweeper. Now under the timing line, where does Pip Thompson go? Straight to the top of the tree with a 53.558. She will progress into the top 8.
And that has brought them down nearly a whole second from where they qualified. Patrick Hayden and Jay Hayden should be the next in Schizo. And they had a qualifying time of 53.726 earlier on. Te Awamutu is where they make their home. They have 502 horsepower at their disposal. Their sponsors are Enviroline, NZ, BDS Tinting and Graphics, Otrahonga Auto Electrics, Colour FX Spray Painting, Dairy Tech, HRE Race Engines and Jet Design Co.
We really need to slow down the race meeting just to get the sponsors
out. Yeah, no kidding, and
team.
Thank you very much. If you're a sponsor of this great event, New Zealand Jet Sprinting, we thank you very much for supporting these crews. I know it's a big ask these days, financial times being what they are, but we hope that you get the kudos you deserve as these boats parade your colours around the track.
Yeah, Patrick Hayden now into that sweeper. Now he will go to the far side of the track, over to our photographer by the Mouth Fresh sign. Patrick Hayden now splitting these. I love this split straight up the middle of this particular facility. It just gives you so many options in track direction. It's going to be very interesting during the Worlds which track direction they set, because fast and technical is always the way that we want to see it. And today, his track direction has offered exactly that. Patrick Hayden doing a fantastic job. Got the lovely lady right in beside him. She's just pointed for home. Bang, over the line. Patrick Hayden straight to the top with a 53.277. So he will progress into the top 8.
Yeah, he's come down 0.5, half a second from previous runs as we go now to Donna Thompson. And of course, they're two abreast. The team from Wanganui, Donna Thompson and Monica Cooper, they have that 500 horsepower in that Eagle Hull, and they've been very successful last 12 months. They'll be trying to do it again and set themselves up for a top 3 position and get some points to take them through to Featherstone at the end of the season.
Yeah, look, these girls had a great season last year. They got themselves on the podium. We're absolutely stoked about that and looking to emulate that a couple of times throughout the course of this season. And I think the way they're going about it at the moment, I would not be surprised if we see that happening. A couple of years under the belt now for the team. And that's
a little late there, Cavey.
That'll cost them too much. So with that sort of extra time behind the wheel, we will see these times come down throughout this season. And a little bit slow on that exit as well. Just got off the accelerator, must have got a bit lost. Need to think about where she wanted to go. So smart. That's where experience counts. It's better to ease off and find your way than keep your foot into it and lose your way.
Let's have a look at the time for them as we come up to a 55-second exactly. 55-second run exactly. They'll be a little disappointed with that because that's a second, 1.8 seconds slower than a qualifying time that found them here in the top 5, actually a top 4 or 5 in this part of the racing. But it'll still be good enough to get them back for the top 8 later on. Let's go now to Tim Edhouse.
Tim and Debbie.
Yeah, Tim and Debbie Edhouse from Ofonga. And once again, L98 motor with 500 horsepower. Their sponsors, Ofonga Motors, Tyre Max New Zealand, Waikato Clutch and Brake Specialists. Nice turn there, the mechanic come race driver. And a very nice guy this too, and just a real quiet sort of guy. Lets his torque come out onto the water in front of us. Really good up the back straight, nice and smooth. This boat's sitting in the water, really good for him. Hard on the gas, all the way back through. Let's see how straight the line is here. Not too bad.
Very nice. He really picked that up a lot over the last couple of rounds, but he was late coming out of the exit, and all of a sudden they've got a hand up.
Oh, no.
There might be a loose tyre over there.
Yeah,
perhaps.
they're pointing at a tyre or something up the top end there.
So that will be offered a rerun for that. They're waving, and I don't know whether they're waving to their fans or what's going on, but they certainly animated there in the seat. Eric Oxemer, our race director, will go and have a bit of an investigation.
Yeah, they've obviously claimed the run there.
Red flag up there just to say no. All right, one of the rescue crew managed to pull the spare tyre out. Absolutely something in the water.
All right, so they probably will get a rerun. We'll find out from our track officials very, very shortly. Just to let you know, at the moment, the fastest time in this qualifying round is that of Patrick Hayden's with a 53.277. 53.277. As we said earlier on, we'll let this play.
We might have to change that wiggy to "there's a tyre in the water." Oh, that's right, I'm not allowed to sing. They've banned me from singing in the commentary box, and who understands why? I was going to be on the X Factor or something like that as a soprano, I do believe, but I've already got the no deal up here in the commentary tower, mate. That's a bit rough.
Yeah, you've got a bit of voice like sandpaper and steel, buddy.
Well, it takes a few late nights to develop this.
Okay, Levi and Zephyr. There's a pretty angry dad or chaperone looking for you guys. You guys need to get to the top and get back into your car as quick as you can. Levi and Zephyr, you've got to get going because there's a fairly good chance we're going to send you back to Australia with Cavey if you get left behind here today. I don't know whether that's scary or creepy, Cavey. I'm not quite sure. Hey, we've got white noise coming out on the track.
Yep, the Wilson man out there behind the wheel, the Hayden Wilson and Chris Osman in a white noise. And have a look at that straight off the start. They know where they want to be come the end of the day. They want to be up there on the podium. Going around the NZ part of the track now. Quite nice out of there. Now into the fast part of the track. I like this big sweeper. There is plenty of speed in and out of there, carrying the smooth momentum that straight line through the flip-flops heading towards Mount Fresh. He's going to make sure they're cutting plenty of time off that ever-elusive time clock.
They had a time of 52.865. They were the second fastest qualifiers here in the top 12 elimination round. And you can see why. This is a very, very smooth drive coming along here from this team. And Hayden Wilson from Wanganui looks like he's going to put up another good time. I'm hoping for a 51 for them. I'm sure that they'll get a low 52 for sure. It's a very, very handy drive. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at it. Hayden Wilson, 53.246. 53.246, so slightly slower than what they have been. And as you said, Kavy, sometimes after lunch they do just get a little quieter.
Yeah, they do. I'm not too sure whether it's the water density that changes, of course, all the silt sitting into the bottom of the pond, or they've just had too many solid rolls over the lunch break. But it is Ross Travers now coming out onto the course. Shane Travers, of course, is his son. The boat is radioactive. The hull is a stinger. Shane just sitting there. He's just fairly calm about all this at the moment. He knows the old man knows where he's going. So it's more for support as opposed to really giving Ross Travers the full direction.
Oh, he's going.
Yep, when you take a couple of bites, you know that Ross is really pushing it. They've wound up the wick on the radioactive machine.
No kidding, they had a time of 50.754 to qualify in top spot to make this final 12 or this 12 elimination round. That's a very smooth right-hand hairpin there, and as we keep the gas on, you can see that there is no extra bouncing around in that boat. It's cutting great lines. Ross Travers is a man with a steady head and a cool hand and a good foot on the throttle. He's going to bring us home with a great time. I suspect we're going to have a 50 or a 49 at least. Let's see. 50.062. 50.062. So he's cut 0.7 of a second off, 0.65 of a second off his previous time. Well done. 50.062.
It happens to be 3.2 seconds quicker than Hayden Wilson as well. So that is a very, very big difference in this class.
All you'd have to say to Ross Travers is consistency will get you onto the top spot. If he can hold this up, 3 seconds is a long way for one of these competitors to try and make up. Ross Travers looks like the man to beat this year in Group B, as he is the champion from last year. Ross Travers and Shane Travers, just amazing driving and well done to them.
Tim and Debbie Edhouse now coming out onto the track again. They getting the opportunity of a rerun after we had another tyre just breaking loose of the rest of the tyres and making its way down into the middle of the track. So we're just going to have to keep those tyres on a bit of a leash as Tim Edhouse now looking pretty smooth out there. I wonder if he is frustrated by the rerun. Actually looking a lot smoother this time out, so we'll probably be very appreciative of that in the long term. But of course, if he spits it out, he'll have sat there and gone, well, I got dudded. But that is just the way it goes. You can either take the rerun or take the time on the board that you already posted. And at the moment, I would have said that the rerun is probably the smarter decision.
Look, I think he's going to do a great time here. 53.295 is his quickest time to beat. I think he's going to hit a 52 here. This guy's really driving really smoothly, and well done to him.
Yeah, he's going to bring it home very nicely.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice run.
In amongst the mix. Tim Edhouse.
52.920, right on the money. 52.920. So he is our second fastest competitor in this run so far. Now we'll go to Jason Reed.
And that will round out our top 12 with Jason Reed being the last driver for the top 12 in the Group Bs, brought to you by Biolytix.
Andrew Wells doing the navigation. They have a 460 cubic inch Chevy with 500 horsepower and an Eagle hull. Naki Electrical, Dobson's Dyno Tuning, Farmlands, Plastering Plus, TSK Construction. Just name a few of their sponsors. I just about need a coffee break to get through them all. It's great that they've got so many of them. Jason Reed and Andrew Wells. Inglewood's where one of them makes his home, White's the other.
The boat coming off the trailer now. So Jason Reed, just be nice and calm under there, just thinking about it, won't be thinking too far forward. He's been around for a couple of years now, so really enjoying the sport. Of course, the Naki boys been doing a fantastic job with promotion up there in the Naki area. And launching off the line now in the Eagle hull, we have seen Jason getting a little bit unstuck coming around the Suzuki hairpin. what will it bring this time? Around the NZ Speedbowl, the boat just looking reasonably settled up there. He's come out of that part of the track pretty well this time around. Into the Biolytix Speedbowl, yeah, looking smooth through there. So I reckon Jason Reed at the moment is looking good enough to get into the top 8. Jeff Reardon is sitting on the bubble in number 8 at the moment. So Jason needs to post a time of better than 57.956 to be able to move forward. And at the moment on the split, he's in 9th. So he's really going to get a hustle on to be able to progress into the top 8. Oh,
he's
able to
getting
steer there.
lots
That
of
was just getting a little bit loose. Almost starting to look like a Drift Series car there for a second. And Jason Reed, where has he put himself? He will not progress. It is a 58.931. So he will be very upset about that. And that will be the end of the day for the Naki boys, Jason and Daniel Reed.
So the top qualifier there in the 12 elimination is, of course, Ross Travis with the 50.062. He's going to be the man to beat all day long. You need to keep an eye on that radioactive boat. It is the one definitely at the top of the echelon of competitors as we move now to the all-through Group A top 12. The running order: Harry Whelans, Neil Marshall, Ollie Silverton, Rick Burt, Simon Gibbon, Warren Farr, Bevan Muir, Sam Newdick, and of course Blake Bryant. That's how we will line them up for you as we look first to Usain Bolt, and that is, of course, Harry Whelans.
Yeah, look, Harry just making it into these finals, and